All right, this is another video of real quick Python. More Python, less me talking. All right, in a previous video, real quick Python, reading a text file into a list. That's what you see here. I basically read the entire content of War and Peace into a list. So this first line here opened up that file, and then it's going to treat that variable input file as that entire file. And then I created a list. And within that list, I read every single individual line of War and Peace, and I put that into the content list. I then closed the file. Eventually, I just wrote a little bit of code here to say, just give me the lines that have the word Petersburg in it. Well, wouldn't it be nice, instead of just printing it to the standard output of the screen, what if I put that into a text file? So I fundamentally follow the same approach. I first need to open up a file, and I'll just call it anything. I'll just call it output file. I can call it Alice. I can call it Bob. Doesn't really matter, but I want to be descriptive. And I'm going to say open, and I'm going to call this output.txt. But because it's an output file, I have to tell, or Python has to tell the environment how to behave with that output file. Generally speaking, there's two ways to deal with that. One is to completely start over, rewrite an entire file. And what I would do there is just tell it W. That would overwrite any existing file called output.txt. So let's say, for example, you already have a file out there called output.txt. This is going to keep overwriting it. So you know, obviously you can use it, but you got to be a little bit careful. Another approach is doing a. This will append to a file. If the file doesn't exist, it'll just create the new file. If the file does exist, it's just going to keep appending to the bottom. Until you're really comfortable, I usually tell people work with the append, because you'll be surprised how many times you're going to overwrite a given file. So that opens up our file. And now we need to write to it. So down here in our little code down here, instead of saying if Petersburg in line, print it to the standard output, well, we can keep that, but no. I'm going to replace that with, I'm going to say output file, and I'm going to tell it what to do with that output. I'm going to say write. That's it. That's basically it. Every time it finds a line that has the word Petersburg in it, it's going to write that line to the output file. And again, to maintain some good programming standards, once I'm done with that file, I'm going to close it. Remember, a lot of these programs, even though this is really quick here, a lot of these programs can grow very, very large, and you might be opening up hundreds, if not thousands of files. When you're done with the file, good programming practice is to close it. So let's go over here and let's run this. That was fairly quick. How come it didn't send it to the screen? Because I didn't ask it to send it to the screen. I asked it to write it to a text file. So guess what I got to do? I got to open up that text file. And there's the text file. And if we were to look, every one of these lines, every line has Petersburg in it. So again, this is a real quick video to show you how to write to a text file. Begin to use some of this knowledge, not just say, well, I'm reading War and Peace, I'm sending it. No. What if that text file had a special format to it? What if that text file was a comma separated value, which is a very common approach? So real quick video. We opened up a text file. We read from the text file. We put that into a list. And then we read that list and we put the stuff out to a text file. That being said, let's use this stuff and let's go learn something.